Hi guys, it's been a while, so here I am vlogging from my car. I won't go into details, but I have been told to leave the house for a day or for a bit of time. So I am out running errands, and right now I'm parked at a scenic vista and thought I'd take a minute to say hi and see how your March is going. Wrapping up, I know, thank goodness, honestly. I typically really love March. It's my birthday month, and although I struggle with the mold blooms from spring and the rains, um, this one has been insane. I have been flogged, honestly. I don't know if it's because of how much Pisces I have in my chart, and there were a lot of Piscean transits, or if y'all are going through the same thing. I know this last week or this last 4 days or so have been really hard for a lot of people because of an X-class solar flare, which is, I think, as high as they go as far as ratings. But they hit me like no tomorrow. Usually the beginning, like the first couple days, because a friend of mine said that the KP rating still, I think is what it is, like space weather rating, was still really high on that third day, but I was starting to come out of it. But those first 2 days, I can't lift my arms. I am just heavy as can be. I can't. It's like mitochondrial dysfunction, and it really gives me a spook every time because it throws me back to how I was in the beginning with my illness, and by beginning I mean many years, and also what I've seen in my children that really triggered me to follow up on their health. And they were affected too these last 4 days. The universe sent me to go to the woods, kind of to see the wildflowers, although they're not quite up yet. They will be shortly. I was excited about that because every year I say, I'm gonna go, and I miss it. Probably because of how lousy I tend to feel this time of year. I do better in the fall now, honestly, which has made fall kind of September take the lead over March. But yeah, so now I see why they sent me to the forest to really ground and to be in a sacred place during what was going on. And thank goodness I did ask the trees for a lift, and yawns, and then the cranes warbled and flew overhead, the sandhill cranes, just for long enough for me to put my arms around my kids in the middle of the woods and just say, wow, look at that, look at them dancing, because they weren't even going anywhere like usual. I mean, they're going somewhere, but they do those majestic circles where they're just having fun. You know they are. And then we saw a bluebird flitting through the forest. I don't know what it is with me in forest right now, because usually I call it woods. But, and part of my sniffles, I was praying right before this, and my prayers are like giant yawn fests. So that's part of what's going on, but something else is getting to me. Maybe it's my nail polish. It usually doesn't, but I did it in an enclosed vehicle. I'll show you my favorite. This is my all-time favorite color. It's Zoya Godiva, and I need a second coat to hide my nails are really stained these days, very yellow. I did that blue, I don't know, it's been months ago now, but I just can't get it to stop making my nails really ick. So, the solar flares, the illness that I went through this month, me and the family after cake and all that. I won't go over that again. Um, I had a big emotional clearing out that I keep forgetting to factor in. My daughters, I asked them to pick out a Paulo Coelho book for me from the library because I felt like reading a new story, and I've made it through a couple of his pretty easily. They were headed there with their dad. My husband, we're still together, of course, but it just sounded weird the way I said it. My one daughter picked me out The Spy. So I'm reading that, and right off the bat, things get pretty intense, sexual stories and stuff. And then the universe had told me to bring it with to dance class. And I did, and the kids were doing their contemporary, and we're upstairs in this historic building with light streaming in the old windows. And I open the book and I start reading again. And again, it's about rape. And I said, okay, there's a reason you had me here in this very public place to go over these chapters. It's finally time to let some of this stuff go here and now. And I got a yes. And so, without even needing to pound my chest or anything, it started coming out finally. And I've done a lot of steps. I've done years and years of Reiki. I've done trauma release, uh, like a laugh therapy thing I told you about recently. I've been through 2 rounds of that, which is supposed to clear most of what you have. And I knew those were outstanding, but yeah, it didn't really budge them. It budged some things, yes, but this was a sticky one. So it was great to have all those yawns, and then as I'm doing it, power line. You could see the top of it because we're on a third story of a building. Was front and center in front of one of the windows, and it caught my attention. And just yawn after yawn after yawn, and I knew that was me getting my power back from that. And yeah, it felt huge. I had my dance class the next day, my return to dance, because I had missed 2 weeks being ill. And it felt really good. I felt like a more poised dancer after that. I felt that return in power. So there's been that. It's just been really deep, really deep. Lots of shifty stuff with my husband and I. I'm wanting him to step forward emotionally. So we'll see. I know he'll get there eventually, but I'm impatient. I'm tired of waiting. Not that I'm going to make any moves anywhere, but I just want what I know I'm worthy of. I want what I know we're going to be. And it's hard. It's hard to put yourself in the present moment and really enjoy what you already have and be incredibly grateful for what you already have when you're always focused on what's next. And it's hard being kind of a bit of a a seer or a more and more these days. I'm starting to, the universe is using numbers and letters and gave me this whole code. And so every time I think of something, I see letters that correlate either yes or no, or X marks the spot, or whew, it is intense. There are days where I'm like, okay, you guys, I almost have to turn it down a notch because the messages, especially when it comes to medicine and um, treatments and things, what is ideal for them, for what they want to give me and for my body, is almost enough to kill me at the same time. If I keep up with, okay, you want me doing magnesium, or now next, this or that, because it's all in my face. And at some point, I'm gonna have to just put it away, and coast, because like I've mentioned before, this one way to surely feel like a sick person is to be treating yourself like a sick person all the time. But on that note, because it just reminded me, I mentioned on Facebook, but I really like this Highlands Bioplasma cell salts. It's homeopathic minerals. You just pop one of these under your tongue and it dissolves real easy. It's not real chalky or anything. And especially with the solar flares, those you really need to up your minerals, your electrolytes, your sleep, your grounding, unplugging, and just be kind with yourself and know that they're intense. I'm not sure if the forces that be have some control over them or not. There's some of my friends believe that they do. I'm not sure how that all works, but if they do, as my one friend always points out, um, there's healing to be had in that. If we are being bombarded with radiation to the point that we're going through heavy detox to manage, whether it be you can't even eat, junk food, or things are just bubbling up and out emotionally, physically. I've been dealing with a lot of like viral type symptoms these days. It's it's bringing us to another level. So the ones who make it through, that is. I mean, I don't take this stuff lightly. I think it pushes animals, elderly, um, all my Lyme friends. It pushes people to the max. Regular people, regular. There's there's not a person in this green earth that is not walking wounded, as they say. We all are maxed out with trauma. We haven't known how to deal with it, how to release it, how to dance, how to sing, how to hug and listen and be compassionate. So it's just been stuck. So between the physical that's gone untreated for millennia, probably, maybe that's too long, decades, no, centuries, there we go. I can safely say that. Yeah, there's the trauma factor too that's been passed down, not just from your ancestors, but from your past lives probably too, if you buy into that, which I do based on what I've seen. So I guess I'll leave it there. 14 minutes. I don't want to talk your ear off. I know I'm having a hard time even maintaining eye contact today. I'm just spaced out, but felt good saying hi, and take care. I'll see you soon.